Charles III and Prince William. But the point is, the Antichrist is known, folks. And if you haven't heard it, it's because your pastors, your preachers, your teachers, the ones you're listening to, have not been paying enough attention. The first edition of the Antichrist in a Cup of Tea was a bestseller. Hundreds of thousands of people at least have heard this information, what I'm sharing so far. Why haven't you heard about it?
And I think part of the problem is in the past 20 years, pastors are not even talking about Bible prophecy at all. So that's just been a huge problem also.
Well, yes. And the ones who are, again, they think it's almost like they're too arrogant. And I hate to say that. They think that they can look at this guy and say, well, what power does he have? That can't be the Antichrist. That's ridiculous.
Well,
or that the church isn't going to go through these things. Therefore, oh, well, the church won't know who the Antichrist is in advance. We can know. That directly contradicts the scripture I've just cited, Revelation 13 and Daniel 7. The whole point of God telling us to calculate the number of the beast, or giving us information like the first beast, for example, in Revelation 13, or the little horn of the eyes of man in Daniel 7, is so that we will know when the time comes. Anybody who says something other than that to you does not know what they're talking about. So don't listen to them until they do know what they're talking about. That's the first point I'll make. Till they open their eyes, humble themselves, and are willing to look at the actual evidence that's given in the Antichrist in a Cup of Tea. So that being said, it's all laid out, but so much is under Prince Charles. He's behind everything happening in the world today, and you probably have never heard that.
Right. I found it interesting also because people talk about Klaus Schwab and the Great Reset, but what did you find out about King Charles with the Great Reset?
Yeah, when we hear about the Great Reset, the first thing people see typically is Klaus Schwab's book, which is the Great Reset. And what the Great Reset, folks, is the actualization, the implementation on the ground of the New World Order. In other words, the New World Order was the plan, and now they're implementing it. And that's what the Great Reset actually is. They're now actively fomenting it and bringing it to pass in a very plotted, planned, conspiratorial way. Now, Prince Charles was the person, not Klaus Schwab, who announced the Great Reset to the world from the World Economic Forum months before Klaus Schwab's book came out, months before Klaus Schwab mentioned the Great Reset, months before anybody else ever said anything about it. It was Prince Charles talking about the Great Reset and, quote unquote, build back better.
Interesting.
Yeah, it